Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here buckled up for episode 471 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing. Just finished up another banger of a pre-show. Now it's time for show. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
We really brought the heat on the pre-show.
I am feeling warm right now. We brought so much heat. I'm warmed up and ready to go.
Oh, man. It's like loose as a goose after a pre-show like that. You just
the
hop
number
right
of
into it
people
and
in there.
go.
It was like a party in there. We had Goldeneye music playing. We had the Natty Anthem, just getting everyone in the zone. It was a good time.
They don't call it the pre-show for no reason, do they?
I almost didn't want to leave, but then I remembered you can't have a pre-show unless you have an actual show, so we had to get to it.
Yeah, it's just like the after party after the party. You got to have the party to have the after party.
Exactly.
Just so everyone knows, to get in on the pre-show, you have to be a supporting member, and then you can come listen live, and you can also get in on the pre-show. We don't record the pre-show, so it's where we talk about all the secret stuff that you don't get on the show.
Mm-hmm.
This week's episode is brought to you by our good friends over at Build Fast Formula Supplements. Check them out at buildfastformula.com. They're the supplements that Tommy and I both use, trust, love, eat, drink. Any way you can consume these supplements, we do it. You can also consume Build Fast Formula Supplements by heading over to their site, and then you use discount code Massenomics. Whether you're buying full Blitz pre-workout, their Vaso Blitz, their 80-20 protein formula, their Glyco Hack, Drink Hack, Blitz 3D, their creatine monohydrate, any of their supplements, you can save 10% on every single order. And if you order over $100 in the U.S., you actually get free shipping also. So check them out.
This episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Right now, for a limited time, Texas Power Bars is still running their free shipping promotion. If you head on over there, throw any bar in your cart, it will ship free as long as you are in the actually maybe all the U.S., lower 48, I don't know. Somewhere in America, these things will ship free to you. If you're looking for a recommendation, highly recommend the original Texas Power Bar. You can get in on Tanner's Grip Challenge that's taking the world by storm. And
it's taking the world by storm.
And he highly recommends using his original Texas Power Bar for that. But if you have one of those or maybe need something different, 29-millimeter Texas Power Bar is great. A Texas Deadlift Bar is the go-to deadlift bar in this day and age. And if you got some big squats loading up, Texas Squat Bar isn't a bad option either. So head on over to TexasPowerBars.com, take advantage of that, and up your bar game. Thank you, Texas Power Bars.
Thanks, Texas Power Bars. We really do. I'm having a hard time remembering what we talked about on the pre-show and what we're talking about now, but we have a lot of topics to cover this week.
This actually, as far as topics go, might be the single most we've ever had sitting in here. Some of them we will not cover, but you never know. We might get through a lot of these.
Could be a topic PR on episode 471. Finally took us until episode 471 to get to all these topics. And we're going to do it, I think.
Can we start with a certain topic that I want right away? And that is
absolutely
what you're drinking over there? Because I am very thirsty.
I got, I don't know what, got so many cameras going. I don't know what camera you can and can't see this on, but I got one right here in this drink spotter. This red one.
The Cola.
Nicola.
I'll tell you what. I looked in the fridge. I see these Good and Gather watermelon lime sparkling waters. I don't know if I've ever had these, but the name sounds delicious right off the bat.
So first sip right here.
That's pretty damn good. Yeah, that's 4 territory for sure.
Oh, that's a
I mean,
4.
it had a lime in it. There's lime in the flavor. It's almost it's almost bad if it's less than a 4. And this easily lives up to 4.
I've had several good and gathers. Good and gathers. I would say I think their packaging sucks.
I think we talked about this, how it looks kind of generic in a weird way.
Yeah. I don't like the G on it. I don't like the silverness of the can. It's a little off-putting.
There's only one silver bullet in your mind, and it's not a Good Gather.
You can't judge a book by its cover, though. That's what I've always said.
Hey, that just reminded me of something. Speaking of early 2000s beer marketing, do you remember when Miller Lite had the Vortex bottles? Do you remember that marketing around that?
Yeah, someone just sent me that, like within the last week. Did somebody send it to you too? Was it the same
Ryan
person?
sent me a meme of it. It was like Chad Kroger.
Maybe it was
singing
Ryan that sent it to. Someone sent it to me too.
Okay. Miss you all.
I think no. I think Chris Hornick just sent me a Vortex bottle like a week or two ago and goes, "Do you remember these?" And I'm like, I completely forgot about that, but you just unlocked a core memory of the Vortex bottle.
I'm pretty sure I was like 10 when those came out. I don't know for sure. I'm guessing I was like 10. Drinking beer was not on my mind at all, but I remember seeing that. And for people that have no idea what we're talking about, Miller Lite had this marketing campaign where they actually made bottles that had like a
rifling.
Yeah, like a rifling, like a vortex spiral engraved inside the neck of the bottle. And it was supposed to like make you have the perfect pour of beer or something like that. I don't know. Make you drink the beer faster, whatever it was. And I remember the time being 10 and thinking, oh, that's freaking sweet, man. And having no idea why.
Yeah.
But they were gone too soon. Never got a chance to try one out.
I don't know that I've ever had a Vortex bottle or not. I can't remember. I mean, I certainly remember it, but maybe I was 10 too. I just don't recall. There was someone brought up the wide mouth. It was the wide mouth cans.
There was the wide mouth cans. And then didn't Coors Light do a thing where they had,
I think so,
like the venting, like it was a vent slot or something?
I remember that.
I miss when beer companies just all admitted that their light beers are the same and would market based on the technology of their, beverage holders of their cans.
Get this beer into your mouth faster. Like, we just have to be the company that, like, we have to take this problem that's not broken and make you believe that we have the technology to get beer into your mouth faster.
Oh, we used to be a proper country.
And then
seen it here. Yeah. The vented wide mouth.
And you know how you know that none of that stuff really matters?
Because no one did not catch on with anyone.
Yeah. The Mountains Blue on Coors Light, do they still do that?
That's a good question too. I feel like they don't.
Because, you know, the mountains are blue. That means it's cold, right?
Uh-huh. They don't talk about that ever anymore, do they?
I don't know.
Which makes you think that it's not a thing if they're not talking about it ever, unless they've just taught the consumer to just know to look for those blue mountains. They don't have to mention it anymore. Everyone gets it.
It kind of does make you think we used to be a proper frickin' country, though, like you said.
It does. The R&D into light beer packaging has just gone all downhill the last 20 years.
Yeah, when beer marketing used to just be, they minded their own business and they just advertise stupid drinking containers.
And the twins.
With the twins.
Take me back.
Hey, hell yeah, brother. Yeah. So that's our can segment for this week. Good to get a good fresh can in the drink spotter. What are you resting on that on a coaster?
You know it. 3/4 inch rubber, made in America. Genuine
Coaster round 2 update. It is the first steps of the process have begun. So there will be a second round of coasters. It's official.
It's a very, very labor intensive process. We're talking thousands of man hours to make these things.
Yeah. A lot of coaster. They're in the works though, so they're coming back. It's official. They are actually going to come back. Okay. Oh my God! What do we even jump into
just
first?
Chris Stamminger put this in here. The Bud Light party ball, the beer ball. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about those things. That's great. Okay, sorry. That brought me back.
I saw that too. That is good. That's Spuds McKenzie up there too. Scance has really old beer marketing.
Just remember, whenever you say we used to be a proper country, someone's vision of that is just 50 years before you.
It's like, what you guys are talking about wasn't a proper country. I'll tell you what was a proper freaking country. That's when
things all went to shit.
I'll tell you when things were friggin' proper.
Turns out things are always proper just when you were 20. And it goes downhill ever since.
When every generation was 20, that's when things were proper to them.
Culture.
Yeah. Okay. We got a lot of stories here. Oh, first I want to kick off by, this is sort of supporting our sporting members, but it's worthy of its own thing. Big Wade a Day is the winner of Your Mom, the March Madness, Massenomics only March Madness tournament. He won first place. His grand prize is on the way to him. It's a secret until it gets.
Oh, he doesn't know yet.
He shares it. He doesn't know what it is. He knows that it's not that. I had to get his proper address, and it's been it's on the way. But
well,
he
I hope
doesn't know
this
yet.
doesn't spoil anything, but it's a good one.
Oh yeah, he's gonna like that thing. It's gonna make him think we're a proper country once again. So congratulations on winning. He did have the national championship. Picked correctly with Florida,
Okay,
whatever.
did you watch? Or I think you commented the Discord. You watched the North Carolina Duke game. Or sorry, not, the Duke Houston game,
Duke
right?
game. I did.
Man, that was quite the game to watch there.
That was. I guess I wanted Duke to win, and which is an anomaly. I normally wouldn't cheer for.
I'm in the
In
same
most
boat.
sports, I wouldn't be a Duke fan, but I kind of am a Duke. I don't know why. I typically would cheer for the underdog, and I don't know.
As much as a one seed can be an underdog, but
right. Well,
Yeah.
when the other team's Duke, I mean,
right, you kind of are. Still.
even if the other team's better, they're kind of the underdog in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
actually, even the national championship game, pretty good game considering.
That was a good game too.
If you watch, I didn't watch much of the tournament, but I did pay attention, and there just wasn't that many good games in the tournament in general. Yeah. And to have two of the final three games be pretty damn good was a good way to end it.
Yeah, in the national championship, then I wanted Houston to win, and then of course they did. So I'm like sick of every time I watch whoever team I start thinking I want to win, then they always lose.
It's the old thing, yeah. For some reason, when you always want to pick the underdog, they never win. What the hell's up with that?
It's like they got to win sometimes. So congratulations to Big Wade. That'll probably be an annual thing. I think
so. It's an easy one to do, set up.
Yeah, and he does, for that win, get a check mark on his Massenomics supporting member Hall of Fame checklist. So you are one closer to a Hall of Fame cup, Big Wade, and everyone knows, all the supporting members that have been on the road for the Hall of Fame checklist, everyone knows that winning a contest is one of the most difficult check marks to get in the Massenomics community. So that's kind of a special one.
It's a big one.
Yeah. Okay, what do we want to go to here first?
Oh,
I'll give you a little cottage cheese update.
That was the one that was catching my eye there.
We're a bit of a cottage cheese podcast. For anyone that doesn't know,
great macros.
Maybe if this is your first time listening, we often talk about cottage cheese, and I've got an important update this week. Yeah, right. Great macros, a lot of protein,
very little fat.
It's the true superfood in my opinion.
Pretty much just protein.
Yeah. So you have tried before the Target one that I told you to try, right?
Yep, the old home or something like that.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
The one we said is a cottage, but it's not actually cottage.
Right. It's like got an old shack on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's blue. That's been my staple for
that was your highest recommendation. Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's a local Target thing, but they do not have it. The shelves have been empty with it for over a week now.
Okay.
Like 2 weeks probably. It's just gone.
Well, and with everything on and everything.
Well, it's odd. Cottage cheese, I don't know if it's a dairy product issue or what it is, but that does happen from time to time. And as someone...
dairy shortages.
Well, I guess it's because of the bird flu. It must be the cow flu. So that's gone. So then I'm back to exploring other options. Target also has this good one. It's called Good with a lowercase g is like the brand of it. I actually saw, I think it was Big Kurt in the Discord recently posted that he had some of this and tried that one. Not a winner. It's not horrific, but it's not good.
Okay.
It's not, ironically, it is not good.
Does not live up to the name.
No, it is not good, and it is extremely expensive. I actually even went as far as we went to our co-op here in Aberdeen. What's that place called?
Natural Abundance.
Yeah, for like a thing of it, they also had the Good brand for like I don't know if it's like a 10-ounce thing of it there was $7.
Oh my God. No.
Like, I would literally go broke
No.
off of cottage cheese.
That's way too much.
That was the only brand that they had, and already tried that. Not very good. Not a huge fan. So then you consume the Daisy.
I get
correct?
it because I go to Costco and it's the super huge size, and the huge size is like $6 for it.
Yep.
It's not my preferred flavor, but at this point I've just come to live with it, and it's fine with me. I don't have any issue with it.
So I'm Daisy is what I've been rolling with. It's been I tried a couple other ones too, and Daisy's the one I've been rolling with now.
I will tell you
Daisy's
this.
not too bad.
One thing you mentioned is how there's a lot of inconsistencies even from same brands. To me, the Daisy one has been incredibly consistent. It feels like I'm getting the same thing every time I eat the Daisy one.
You know what I like about the Daisy one, which this is completely odd, but
There's
like
no
that
liquid to it.
Well, that is the biggest selling brand of the Daisy one is it's not liquidy. But an odd thing that I like about the Daisy one is the shape of the curds.
Are they different? I haven't even paid that close attention. Oh,
they're definitely different. But I kind of enjoy the shape of the curds in the Daisy brand.
Interesting. See, I actually had a cottage cheese update this week too, and that was that I picked up groceries. I was out of cottage cheese, and I was at Hy-Vee, and I got the Hy-Vee brand. Actually, Big Garrett was just saying this. I'm a big Hy-Vee fan. He said the Hy-Vee one is really runny, but flavor-wise, it's pretty good actually for being a generic house brand one. I was pleasantly surprised with how palatable it actually was.
Okay. Anything else on cottage cheese then?
I think
that's
kind of
all. Yeah. So I'm still I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that my most recent brand comes back. This is now the second time in my life that I've been a hardcore particular brand of
had the
cottage
rug
cheese
pulled out from under you.
And oh yeah, we've got Kemp's at home is another one, which didn't love the Kemp's. You know what cottage cheese I like frequently is generic buffet cottage cheese. A lot of buffets end up having really good cottage cheese.
The Pizza Ranch one is surprisingly good.
Oh, the Pizza Ranch has excellent cottage cheese.
And
I'm like, I know it must be
they're
from
just
like
going through
Hogs or whatever the some food distributor is.
Yeah, it's
probably
gotta be
literally
something.
comes in like a freaking
10-gallon
2-gallon. Yeah,
just buckets.
But a lot of times it's pretty good.
My kids love going to Pizza Ranch, and I have found that their cottage cheese is surprisingly good. I would have never guessed.
Agree.
The first time I got it, I thought, this can't be that good. And I was thinking, am I crazy or am I just hungry? What's going on? And after doing it enough times, I think, nope, it's proven itself. It is just good.
Okay. So that's the cottage cheese update for this week, at least.
Yes. Actually, along those lines of weekly updates, I do have one more thing to report on Ford Freestyles. I have seen so many more Ford Freestyles in the last week. It's crazy.
Are you sure they weren't Taurus X's, though?
I actually can't confirm that. I cannot.
Okay.
The one, have you ever seen the one in it's some type of green color?
Yeah. There's 9 colors. People have been sharing the. I told someone if they could get a selfie with all 9 colors, that will be a Hall of Fame check mark. If they could get a selfie with all 9 Ford Freestyle colors.
Yeah, the green one I saw the other day, I didn't know that was an option. And I'm wondering if it was a Taurus X because the green that I'm seeing for Freestyle was not the green that I saw.
Okay.
I was thinking, wow, that green color seems much more premium than I would ever expect on a Freestyle.
Yeah.
And then I saw a maroon colored one. Oh yeah. Ford Freestyle Maroon. Yep, that one pops up instantly, the one I saw. And then I feel like I saw a really beat up bluish one and like a really faded. Yeah, no, it wasn't like a bright Ford blue. It was more of a kind of a gray blue.
Yeah, I know what one you're talking about.
Yeah. But they're out and about.
So you have been seeing more freestyles.
I doubted it, and now I see those suckers everywhere. It took you know what? It's probably now that the weather's nice. People aren't afraid to bust them out anymore. They're wintering them.
Yeah, everyone's been saving them for the. My brother-in-law was just over, and it's funny too. He goes, "I see those all the time now." Well, it turns out Ford Freestyle was America's #1 selling car in like 2006, and none of us knew it.
And Ford was like, "Scrap it! No, we can't give the people what they want."
But everyone says that same thing, though. It's like it's such an odd car, and then once you know to look for them, like, oh, I
But
see
there
that all the
was a
time now.
stretch after you got it. I was looking for them so hard for a month. I didn't see them, and now in the last couple of weeks, they're everywhere.
Wow. You didn't get that box yet, did you?
Oh, I got it right here actually.
Have you opened it? Or?
Oh, it's right here. This little one is this?
Yeah. I think we should.
Is it
This
time
is
to open?
this is a what's in Tanner and Tommy's sack segment.
I better get my opening tool here.
Yeah, Tommy. I know what's in the box, but Tommy does not yet know what is in the box. So this is a true sack segment. We got a little surprise. This was sent in to us, and I won't spill the beans. I'll let Tommy get first look at it.
Because
I'll
I don't
also
even know where
grab,
it doesn't even tell
what I
me who
got.
this is from.
No.
Oh, well, actually, it tells me it's from you, but I don't know, outside of Tanner sending this in the mail, anything about this package. Wow, I got to give you props. This thing's sealed up pretty good. Am I allowed to open it yet? Oh,
All right.
he's got to. Okay, you got your headphones on. Am I allowed to open this yet?
Oh yeah, I thought maybe
Oh,
you already did.
Okay. I'm just opening the box now.
Okay.
We have some type of little bottle. Oh, we got the RP or what's the Genius shots.
Yeah.
Who's Dr. Dr.
Yeah,
Mike.
it's
They're
Dr.
RP.
Mike
They're
and
behind these.
Big Nick. Yeah. So Big Nick sent these to us from RP, the Genius shots. It's their new 23 grams of protein. It comes in like a bottle that you'd
Yes. What do we
think
got
is
here? How
comparable
big
to
is
like
this?
a 5-hour energy.
3.38 ounces.
So you could take it on an airplane, I would bet.
Oh, hell yeah! Just get all proteined up on the airplane.
And macros, it's got 23 grams of protein.
Yeah.
And there's two flavors. At least they sent us two flavors: blue raspberry and orange cream.
Very nice.
And I like the marketing with Dr. Mike on it here.
What the hell? I didn't get one of those.
Well, I didn't send this to you because it didn't fit in that little box.
You kept
And there's a lot. It is backed by research, so that's how you know
it's
good.
science based, you could say.
Yeah, they perfected protein by the numbers with Genius Shot. Nick did tell me some other, secret things about where exactly from Mike's body this comes from.
Where they
the
extracted it
protein.
from.
Yeah, so I don't know if everyone wants to hear those gory details, but
How they milked it out of him.
yeah. So should we try one or?
Yeah, let's do it. What
right.
flavor do we go with first?
I want to do the orange cream.
You do want to do orange cream? Mike's orange cream.
Here's a thing of mine. Maybe I might be pleasantly surprised by this one when we try it, but blue raspberry is not one of my favorite. It's a very common flavor for all these things.
But for protein, is it though?
Well, I don't know about protein,
See,
but
I'm
just
not
like
big even-
pre-workouts and all this stuff. Like I'm like, what is blue raspberry? First of all, have you ever had a blue raspberry?
No, I don't.
But it's
really
an
eat that much fruit
extremely
in general,
common
but
flavor.
I know I don't know what that comes from.
But it probably tastes delicious. But the orange cream one, I'm much more excited
I'm also
about, 'cause
not
that's
huge.
right up my alley.
Well, I'm very curious what these are like before we get into them because if you were to ask me my preferred protein flavors, I'm going to pick chocolates and
Chocolate.
vanillas, things like that,
Yeah.
not fruit. But
Sugar-free, ready to go.
it's
No
basically
mixing,
just
no
liquid
mixing or
protein.
shaker required. I don't know if you need to shake the
I've
bottle
just been
at all.
shaking mine up because it's just
Yeah.
natural to me. But
Yeah.
all right, going for the first sip here.
Over the lips, down the blah, blah, blah. I walk out, tummy, here it comes.
Okay,
That's good.
that's actually. I was just so in my head expecting a protein shake
Yeah.
that my brain was more
seems
confused.
lighter than that.
I'm not sure I would if you gave this to me and you told me what this is. I don't think protein anything would come to mind. Actually,
90 calories in this thing.
I'm just so caught off guard. I was expecting like a proteiny, kind of a whey based feeling drink, and that's not
A
what
bit
this is
nutty.
about. It's a bit nutty, Austin. It is shit. Yeah, that's totally palatable. I wasn't
it's
sure.
good.
Yeah, it is good. I wasn't sure how they would make that work, but I can say that actually is good. But it is a
23
bit
grams.
nutty.
Austin. That's from the first Austin Powers.
Yes. Maybe the second one, actually. After they wake him up, I think.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
So the genius shot. It's genius.
Yeah, I could. Okay, I'm not. Do products like this even exist?
I don't know. Might be a market trendsetter.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I would, if we were on the road for Massenomics, as we are frequently these days, macros get thrown out the window.
Yeah.
Having some of these would just be a great way to hit those macros when you're on the go.
True. Especially on the road, right?
Oh, this is what you do. You leave your house, you throw 10 of these in a bag with 10 pure protein bars. You don't got to eat for 2 straight days. You're just 3 days. You're just good. Just pure protein.
I might just start doing that now. I'm no longer going to consume food. I'm just having this.
10 of these, 230 grams of protein, and you're at 900 calories for the day. You're sitting great.
It is what Nick and Dr. Mike said we can do. We no longer have to eat food. We just get to have this.
It is a complete meal and a complete dietary replacement, and complete in the way that it is purely protein and nothing else. Actually, there's a little sodium. So your sodium levels are there.
Yeah, that's true. You want a little sodium. You want a little sodium.
a little, but not too much. You don't want to overdo it. All right. Very good. Genius shot.
Good little sack segment, huh?
I like that. Yeah, that was good.
All right. Do we want to talk strongest person you know? Jenna Lee story?
Well, strongest
Gym
person you know is going to
prices?
tie into lifting at Bryce's and actually my training in general. So that's a whole different topic there. Okay, I can tell you. I'll tell you a Jenna Lee story here. This is
kind of like a Facebook Marketplace story.
Yeah, and this closes. This
continuation
actually
from
plays
last
into actually a Massenomics origin story. This closes a very big loop in my life actually that I needed confirmation on, and it was in fact confirmed this past weekend. So, sorry, I need a little carbonated water there. All right, so put those weights on, or put some items for sale in the Discord. Crew member Jenna Lee mentioned she wanted the plates. Her and
Also crew member Jonathan.
Yep, her and her husband Jonathan were in town.
New to the crew. Welcome.
Yes. They were in town in Sioux Falls this past weekend. They came and picked the plates up. And it's great when people pick up stuff on a weekend because I could just sit and chat with them for like an hour, which is what I did. Yeah. And we were talking. And all right, I won't get too into the details because this will get too long. But there was a name. But the reason I moved to Aberdeen in the first place was because I took a job at a printing company in Aberdeen. That's why I was out of college. I was looking for a job. What's close? What's in the area that would take a job? And so this Aberdeen job pops up. I end up getting the job. And so I work at this printing company doing design, web stuff, all this. And one name they kept throwing around a lot there, the guys that I worked with, was Jenna Lee. They kept mentioning this Jenna Lee person. Never once saw her, never knew who she was, never knew anything about her. And that was it. Like they just mentioned Jenna Lee. And that was the way I understood it.
That was 15 years ago, probably.
That was like 15 years ago. Yeah, like 2010-ish. And the way I understood it is because I got the job because she quit. So they needed someone else. So I came in. And then finally, Jenna Lee, she joins the Discord, gets into Massenomics, all this stuff related to Big Grayson. And they pick up these plates. And it took me a while to think about it. I'm like, Jenna Lee, where have I heard this name Jenna Lee before? Because it is a unique name.
It's not common. Yeah,
not a lot of people named Jenna Lee. And so she shows up. I go, okay, I got to ask you, did you work at this place? And she's like, yeah, didn't you, did I take your job or something? I'm like, no, you quit. And that was the reason I moved to town is because you left and they needed someone to fill it. They put the job opening out there. I took the job. And that is the reason I moved to Aberdeen. I went to move to Aberdeen if it wasn't, I had no connection, no ties to Aberdeen. And the fact that she quit her job, you could say is part of the reason why Massenomics is here today. So
Had she never quit that, Massenomics would not exist.
isn't that kind of
presumably.
crazy to think about? Like it's not crazy to say like you could have came up with the name Massenomics. Would it have turned into what it is today? Probably not.
If a Jenna Lee flaps her wings on the other side of the world, it could mean that Massenomics doesn't exist. Isn't that what that effect is called?
The Jenna Lee effect, I believe. Yep, that's where it came from. I think there was an Ashton Kutcher movie that talked about this.
Yes.
Kind of wild,
That is
though, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. And then full circle supporting member.
Supporting member
Crew
on top
member.
of that. Uh-huh.
Gym member.
But I was going to feel really dumb when I was like, hey, did you ever work at this place? And she was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. It's like, no, I've never even heard of that place.
Yep. So, but that's the beauty of Massenomics. They showed up, never met either one of them. Next thing you know, we're talking for like an hour and their kids are banging on the windows saying, Mom and Dad, let's go. You guys are taking too long. And,
Yeah, classic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So did you charge them extra for the plates then? Be like, for you guys, charging double.
Not only did I not charge them extra, I even threw in a free 45-pound plate for them. That's what you get when you deal with me.
Did you have an
bonuses.
odd number of 45
I had
pound plates?
I had three 45s. I'm like, I'm not going to go through the hassle of selling one 45-pound plate. Here, you guys get an extra one.
Big Brian wants to know how many Hall of Fame points do you get for creating Massenomics?
All of them.
Yeah, Anthony said it right. No, you just get one extra 45-pound plate. And be thankful you got that. Yeah, maybe we'll get a gym tour of there sometime soon. We got
I
that on
don't
the
think
list
it's
of
out of the
mini gym
question.
tours.
I
Yeah.
think I could see that happening sometime here.
I don't know why not. What do you think about doing a certified training facility of the week?
Oh, hell yeah. I've been looking forward to this since last week.
Me too. Last week was the first week ever of certified training facility of the week. We did Bayou Barbell down in Florida.
Great one to kick off the party.
And I have some people have sent in pictures over the last week because they're like, wait a second, I want you to I want to be a certified
Can't
training
be
facility
featured
of
if
the
you
week.
don't got a picture.
Yeah, so if for everyone that that we have, there's over 200 certified training facilities. If you've never checked it out before, go to massenomics.com/certified. You can see the full map there where they're all pinned on the map. You can see all over the world where they're certified training facilities. And every week we're just going to pick one just to take a gander at. And you do have to have pictures on yours though, so we can take a gander at it. So if you are already a certified training facility, send me a couple pictures of your gym and we'll add them to the map. If you're not a certified training facility yet, what the hell are you waiting for? What part of the country or world do we want to go to this
That's
week?
what I was wondering if you
Where
had any.
in the world is our next certified training facility?
Well, last time we went way southeast. Maybe we should go northwest this time.
Oh, I like the cut of your jib. All right. How about Coeur d'Alene?
Ooh,
You're familiar?
yes.
We're going to go to
I've
Coeur d'Alene.
actually been there before.
Have you?
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty cool area from what I know. I know everyone in my family but me has been there, actually, I think. So I didn't get to go on the Coeur d'Alene trip, but
Yeah,
it's
I
in
thought-
Idaho. It's
Yep.
very
I
close
thought
to
it was
Washington.
cool when I was there.
Yeah, I think it's a cool spot. So if we go to Coeur d'Alene, let's look at the Lift Clinic. And I picked this just because you said Northwest, and I just scanned to the Northwest, and the first one I clicked on has a picture. So we are going to look at the Lift Clinic in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Have you found the Lift Clinic?
I have found it.
How do you make that picture bigger?
For me, if I just click on it, it gets bigger.
Yep, I got it. Yep,
Okay.
The secret was clicking on it.
Computers.
You and your tech guys with
Oh,
your
man.
secrets.
And this is Big Wesley's gym, huh?
Big Wesley does say that crew visitors are welcome. So if you're in Coeur d'Alene, look up the Lift Clinic. Also, Big Wesley competing this summer at the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic 3. I believe. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm taking a look here.
We got one picture to go off.
We got
of.
one photo. I would say very
Yeah.
clean setup. This
Really
platform,
clean setup.
Yeah,
of
this platform. What's this deadlift platform here? It's square.
I'd say that looks almost like an Oli platform.
It does,
Oli
yeah, it's
size
square,
platform.
but
It might be like an 8x8.
It looks like
I'd say it's 8x8.
Yeah, is it like carpet tiles on here almost, or some type of? So that looks really nice. The rack. Is that a? rack that attaches to the wall? Is that folded down onto the Oli platform?
Yeah, that must be a rack, a wall mounted rack.
And
there
then we
too,
got Kilo powerlifting plates. We got.
We can't tell the brand. Can you tell if you look at the ones on the right hand side that are underneath the bottom of that shelving?
Over
I can't
there.
quite tell the brand.
Oh, I zoomed in as far as I could, and it freaked out. No, I can't quite. It looks like it says fitness, maybe, but I can't quite tell for sure if that's what it says or not.
Okay.
Um,
And this is the lift clinic because he's one of the crew docs. So is there a doctor in the house? Yes, there is.
Very good usage of wall space. He has those Rubbermaid wall mount things. I see a Darko shorty bar. I see lots of different collars, lots of attachments.
He's got really awesome storage.
Yeah.
Even on the side, you know that.
Yeah, for all the rogue tripods on the side of the wall there.
He has quite the collection of tripods, and by tripods, it's board presses, of course.
I'm pretty sure. Hasn't he posted in his gym? Don't we have more photos of this somewhere? I feel like I've seen this one before. If
you look closely on, believe that's a tool chest on the right side.
Yeah, doesn't the gym go
up
around
above
the corner
that? You see,
there?
he has a heavy. You see that heavy mug that he has there.
Oh yeah.
And then also there's a drink spotter mounted, particularly on that that other thing that's on top of it. I know he sent me a picture of that before. And he's got the drink spotter caution sign up there too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got some wall balls. He's got the ski erg, the concept.
Yeah, you don't see that a ton. I mean, I know it's a popular
Oh.
item, but you don't see a lot of home gyms that have that.
Really, really. This also looks like it is in an outbuilding. It possibly the garage, but it's angled ceiling. You know, it doesn't have an even suspended ceiling in there.
Yeah.
So it's maybe a separate building or possibly garage shop sort of thing. Really, really nice looking by this picture.
Yeah, I see. Oh yeah, and then man, see, he's got so much stuff on the walls. It's all very clean though. I missed it the first time. These barbells hanging on the left. There's a bamboo bar there. There's some more barbells hidden on the side.
Is that a wall-mounted heater back behind there?
Yeah, it looks like he's got an electric heater up there.
Yeah.
There is just a little loadable dumbbell. Yeah, lots of good stuff. I'm pretty sure he put more photos of this in the Discord. I thought I remember checking this out one day because I thought there was more that I was really, really analyzing because I liked his whole setup.
It's really, really nice. Like just based on one picture, you can tell like this is a really cool gym. So the most important question though, Tommy, do you think you could get strong there?
Oh, hell yeah. You could get very strong
you
there.
Can get strong there.
Yep.
Get strong in there for sure. So that is our certified training facility of the week, the Lift Clinic.
I like the name
if you'd
too.
like to get featured on certified training facility of the week, have a certified training facility, have photos on it, and you get photos on there by sending them to us. And I can't wait to see you next week. This is becoming one of my new favorite segments.
Because I have a rule that I can't ever look at these. This is the only time I ever get to look at the certified training facility.
Yeah, so it's like, I get to check it out.
I have to wait a week now to see any of these again.
I can't wait to decide like what part of the country we're going to go to next week.
Yeah. Well,
Now
we
done
did the
Florida
Northwest
and
this
Idaho.
week, so maybe we should do the Southeast next week.
Okay.
Just keep bouncing between the
Let's
two.
go to Florida. We're only going to review like Pacific Northwest and Florida.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, should we do supporting our supporting members actually also?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Relatively new segment we've got here. It's not as new as Certified Training Facility of the Week, but still relatively new where we give back to those that give to us. You can become a supporting member by heading over to massenomics.com/join. That's where you get signed up and where you get all the exclusive benefits, like getting to listen to our pre-show. You get access to listen to the show live. You get a special discount that's only for supporting members. There's really a whole bunch of other stuff too, but the biggest thing is the number one way you can support Massenomics. If you're a regular listener of the show, watcher of the YouTube, any of that, please consider becoming a supporting member. Each one adds up to kind of mean a lot to us. And at the end of the day, the supporting membership program is one of the biggest things that keeps Massenomics going forever and ever and ever. And we like to give back to those. So this week, the Liftathon went on in Vermilion at USD, one of Canada's top business schools. Big Garrett put on the Liftathon there. There were several crew members in attendance. We had Big Garrett, of course, competed. Big Sydney lifted. Big Bryce was there judging. Big Lou was there spotting and judging. Big Jake was there judging. Big Paul was there competing. Big Anthony was there competing. And Big Dr. Jake from State Farm was there competing. A couple of them I had numbers on. I think Jake won with a 1,400-pound total, beltless total. Big Anthony had a 415 squat, 265 bench, and a 560 deadlift.
Ooh.
Big Paul had a 635 deadlift.
Wait, what did you say Anthony's deadlift was?
560.
Jeez, Anthony, slow down over there, man.
Yeah. You give that guy a golden peep or a bronze peepee, and there's no stopping him.
Man.
Get a bronze peepee in that guy's hand, and then he just ripping deadlifts off the
Gives him
floor.
the feeling of
Horsecock
power.
weights. Yeah. Garrett and Sydney also lifted, not positive on their numbers, but also just looked like a lot of fun. And they had like a crew hangout where they all went out and ate afterwards. I don't know the full story, but it sounds like Bryce had an entire loaf of bread.
That's what it looked
Possibly.
like. Yes.
Then Big Scott competed at the Beast of the East, and he got first in his open middleweight category. And he actually won a Sword Adjacent Award. He won a Trident.
Oh.
I don't think
okay.
we've ever talked about winning a Trident, have we?
That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
Big Derek and Big Bowen were also there, and they got a crew picture. It's fun. There's lifting events going on all across the nation.
and people just know to
It's
meet
so
up with people
common
there.
for there's a crew meetup. It's like almost every one. It seems like there's like a few crew there, which makes sense.
Pretty
you
much
know.
every state, if there's a event going on in a major city, there's a good chance there'll be several crew people there.
Big Eric Sampson competed at King of the North. One of Big Dave, also Big Dave and Big Katie meet that they run. Not the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic, of course, but it's still a very solid meet, and he competed there. Dave had a picture that he posted with him. Big Dan Eager competed in a Pro-Am Strongman show. I think it was Tri-City Pro-Am, so good job, Big Dan. Big Darko had the anchor on Rogue's website now.
Yeah.
He was out at Rogue, and his product is on the Rogue page, so that's pretty cool. Big Bryce was competing in the MarcoFactor Transformation Challenge, and he's lost 26 pounds so far.
What?
And Big Evan competed in his first strongman show and got second place in his class. Congrats on getting out there and competing. The MarcoFactor Transformation Challenge, can you still use discount code Massenomics when you sign up for MarcoFactor?
I think you'd be a horse's ass not to use it.
Yeah. And are you still using MarcoFactor?
Oh, I am. We'll talk about that more when we get to my training update here.
All right, excellent. But do remember, if you use MarcoFactor, use discount code Massenomics.
Yeah, if you're going to quit listening right now,
weeks.
the takeaway would be just sign up for MacroFactor, sign up for a year, because when you sign up for a year, it ends up being like $5 a month, and make sure you use code Massenomics when you sign up.
Yeah. Then, what should we kick off the live listeners, do you think? I could read an ad while you do that.
Yeah, why don't we?
Well, should we tell them what you should tell them what the title topics are going to be?
Title topic is more than likely going to be discussing the sleeve IPF debacle.
Yeah. We have several other topics we're going to talk about yet tonight.
Yes, we actually have quite a few other topics, so it's not just sleeve talk. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. All right. This week's episode, of course, is brought to us by our fine friends over at The Strength Co. You can check them out on thestrength.co. They now have their lowest shipping prices ever, including plates, which plates are heavy and generally not that cheap to ship. So the fact that they're the lowest prices ever, that says something.
I just bought a pair like 2-3 weeks ago, and I thought, wow, can't believe how cheap the shipping is on these. This is my very first thought.
Right. That's true. That's a legit thing. You can check them out. Also, their plates are just the best. They're made in America, made in Waupaca, Wisconsin, not that far from us in the Midwest here. They are smooth. They're easy to grip. They have that machined edge that looks really cool. The black E-coat finish is extremely durable. We've had them in Massenomics gym for many years. I don't know, approximately 4 years now, getting the shit used out of them all the time. And they really, if you washed them up, if you wiped some of the dust off them, they look almost as brand new as the day that they came, which is kind of shocking at this point. It's actually shocking to me how durable they are, like for the finish on them, how durable the finish on them is. Kind of wild. So check them out and buy yourself some at thestrength.co.
All right. We ready? They're all out of here.
You finally booted those guys out of here.
They're gone.
Stuck around for the pre-show and then this live listing. I'm get a little sick of them after all being here for that long.
I can finally think.
So the IPF sleeve drama, that's been the talk of the town, hasn't it?
It has
By
been.
the time this comes out, I suppose it's, you've probably heard quite a bit about it, but it is.
But I know the world's waiting for our take on it.
That's right.
Everyone's like, we can't move on. We've heard everyone else's take. We cannot move on until we hear their take on
What
this.
does
Give me-
Massenomics think
I
about
need
it?
closure, damn it. What do those idiots think about this?
So what is the rundown for anyone that doesn't know or hasn't been paying attention or that potentially doesn't care that much? We're going to make them care.
Okay, the really high level, I don't want to get into too many details. The very high level on this is that knee sleeves. There was, I believe Inzer introduced the stiff knee sleeve. What was it, 2 years ago?
Inzer Pro or whatever.
Whatever they're called. There's more than likely if you power lift, you probably know someone that has a pair if you don't have a pair yourself. And maybe they're not the Inzers, but that's inspired a lot of people to. A7 had ones, I think, like the rear mortise knee sleeves. Pioneer's not IPF approved. I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that make stiff knee sleeves. This is the thing. I don't really care that much about knee sleeves. We've talked about this on the show multiple times that we like knee sleeves, but we don't obsess about them. And so I don't care a ton, but basically that was the thing. Inzer came out with these new stiff knee sleeves that apparently weren't actually, I'm already putting words in your mouth. We'll just say Inzer came out with stiff knee sleeves just this past week out of nowhere. The IPF says, oh yeah, those stiff knee sleeves that we said were approved, they're not approved anymore. And I think that was basically an overnight decision.
Every company had come out with them since then.
Yeah,
basically. Every single company made a version
SBD
of those.
kind of hadn't. They had like a
they're like the only ones that
knee
had
sleeve.
But Pioneers, the ones we have.
Yeah, but those weren't IPF approved. Was it like Strength
Right.
Shop? Did they have some? Did
Hansu have some.
Yeah. There was a bunch. I mean, just companies that make knee sleeves. There's a bunch of them out there.
Pretty much every one of those companies.
Yeah. And so you say, okay, well, the IPF, okay, whatever, they canceled it. Yeah, they can do that. Well, where this starts to rub people the wrong way is that when those knee sleeves were submitted for approval in like 2023, they were approved to be on the contract or to be on the approved equipment list for 3 years, so through 2026. And at that point, they sign these contracts. It's up to the IPF, I guess, to decide if these people can come back or if they're going to pay their money, whatever. But they didn't get that far. They just get to, we're in early 2025 right now, and they just said, nope, it's done. And then also the fact that it was just an overnight thing. It wasn't like, hey, instead of being done, a year and a half from now, 2 years from now, a year from now, it's now done right now. And I know there were some people, they're talking about, depending on what country you live in, you potentially have your national, regional meet coming up very soon here. And if those are the sleeves you've been training with, understandably, you'd be really upset and annoyed because you can't use them anymore. And, if that's what you're used to, now you got to figure out, okay, what sleeves do I get? What can I get in time? Who has them in stock? What's going on? And that's just from the competitor side of things, which is also really annoying. From the manufacturer side of things, if you are an approved manufacturer, for people that don't know this, it means you have to pay the IPF a lot of money, like tens of thousands, maybe even 100,000 or more, depending on how many products you're submitting. And so these companies, from what we can tell, paid all this money, got approved, and then now all of a sudden that money was taken, but now the contract saying that you're good to go is no longer in place. So from the manufacturer's side, they're really upset because they've paid this money. They potentially have a lot of stock because, they sell this product. So now that their stock is somewhat invalid to all IPF lifters, that's really annoying for them. And finally, it's the IPF. They already typically don't look good in most things, and this is just another situation where they don't look good again. And that's the abridged version of the situation. Did I miss anything, Tanner?
I think that's good. I would add to your original point, I probably care so little about these knee sleeves that I lived through the entire life cycle of these from coming out until now being banned by the IPF 3 or 4 years later, and never actually still did get to squat in a pair of them.
Yeah.
That's how little I cared
too
about
soon.
them. I actually competed in a meet in that period of time.
Brandon hooked us up with Pioneer
Brandon
ones.
hooked us up, and I could never get them on.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, I still think the sizing is so weird on those because who I ended up giving those to. I've probably
wasn't
talked
it
about
Leah?
this
Did you say Leah?
Leah.
Yeah. Leah
Like an
Anderson.
130-pound woman.
Yeah.
Like
And that was what, yeah.
also
that was what
like a 5'8", 130-pound, like
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's weird because I did the size chart and they fit me perfect. Is that
Right.
As
So I
perfect
don't know if
as
there was just
as
still
perfect
something
as
with
knee sleeves that are so tight that they
particular-
cause you to bleed are, that's-
Right. But my point there, I've never actually squatted in a pair of them before. I've held them in my hands. I've tried to put them on. Like I've almost killed myself trying to put them on, but I've never actually. And that was even just within like the last year almost. So before that, I'd never even tried to put a pair on.
Right. And there's a lot of things to actually talk about here as far as once we broke down the situation, the if you want to really dig into things or go into the conspiracy theories, so first of all, there's people saying, well, stiff knee sleeves just get stronger. And I actually get that to a certain extent. Yeah. Okay. It's dumb because we were talking about this is how Equip Powerlifting started. As people said, oh, you can use this piece of gear and it helps a little bit. Well, now you can do a second ply. It helps a little bit more. Oh, you can actually throw on this canvas shirt. This helps a little. And it's like, oh, this is exactly how Equip Powerlifting went.
Right.
I do get that to an extent. I have the Pioneer thick knee sleeves. I do think that they add to your squat. I don't train in those ones ever. I have, to show you how little we care about knee sleeves, I bought when the only game in town was Reband or SBD, and Reband was kind of on the way out because that was, I'm using air quotes here, an inferior product or a less, hyped product at the time. By the time I got around to buying them, I bought the SBDs. That was new. And that was probably 2015, 2016. Those are the same knee sleeves I have to this day. They don't really wear out. I mean, maybe they do, but I guess I haven't seen that happening if that's the case. So that's what I have. Brandon was kind enough to send us a pair of the Pioneer ones. They are so insanely tight, and I do think that they add to it that I don't like training in them regularly. I might have a meet coming up in the next few months here, and I would potentially start wearing those closer to the meet, the Pioneer ones. But as far as training goes, I don't actually enjoy wearing those really, really tight ones. So that's one part of it is that. And, there's the debate of, oh, knee sleeves do too much. You shouldn't wear any knee sleeves. It's raw lifting. But yeah, at a certain point, okay, are we going to not allow belts or wrist wraps or anything either? And at a certain point, it does add a certain level of just comfort. So I'm not of the mentality all equipment has to go away totally. I think that's kind of a dumb argument to have with this stuff.
Yeah, I'm really, at the end of the day, I'm okay with, I don't even care whether they are allowed or aren't allowed. It's the fishy, allowing them for a while and then being no. And obviously here, the thing is, SBD is the biggest sponsor of the IPF, or presumably dumps ton of money into it. And it sure seems like they said, we no longer want these to be IPF approved.
Yes, and that's the conspiracy theory a lot of people have behind the scenes is that SBD is.
I believe that to be true.
I don't think hardly anyone doubts
true.
that.
Yeah,
right. They have so much money and power.
It's
like Rogue. When it comes to the Arnold, you get the feeling Rogue can do whatever they want. They kind of if it pertains to equipment at the Arnold, Rogue's just in charge. They have the rules, and SBD throws so much money at all of this stuff that it's not hard to believe that SBD gets way more of a call in how things go than anyone else in this whole thing. And that seems really dumb. When to think of sporting activities and to only have one single approved person.
Right.
It's kind of lame. And then also it's it's powerlifting. It's one of those things that's making the moving of metal discs way more political and complicated than it should ever be. So that's, you don't want it to be true, but it just, it seems very convenient that this doesn't really affect SBD at all, but it seems to affect mostly everyone else. It's oh, did that just, what are the chances? How did that work out just perfect for us guys? And then it also brings up the whole thing of, so all these records that were set in the last 2 years of people wearing those sleeves, are those records negated? Do they not count anymore? What's the policy here? And also, what was the testing? Because now there was apparently new evidence that came out that those were not, that the initial Inzer ones were not pure neoprene or a single layer of neoprene or whatever
Right.
But there's been very, very little information released onto what this investigation revealed into these knee sleeves. So that's the thing. There's so many question marks about it. And because it's the IPF, like everything, there's always question marks about it. And it's a shady behind the scenes thing where stuff gets done and people may never know what happened other than the IPF decided they don't want it anymore for reasons.
Yeah. That's right. Basement Brandon, you mentioned him. He does have a good video on it.
Yeah, his was really good
too. Someone check that out if you're interested in hearing more about it. At the end of the day, kind of makes me not want to buy SBD stuff as much, I would actually say.
I know. And it's annoying because SBD does make a good product and they do pump a ton of money into the thing. But you always like to see people win out on merit, not because they are putting their finger on the scale and tipping it in their favor.
What I like about SBD is they appear to sponsor a lot of the lifters that I do.
Yeah, and I think that's great.
So I'm like, yep, that's cool. That's like helping out those high-level strongmen competitors and powerlifters, so that's cool. But this stuff, I'm like, yeah, fuck you guys. That's kind of how I feel about that.
I know.
So that's kind of what I think about it.
That's how it comes off is like, oh, you're feeling threatened from all these other people. Okay, we need to pull a big maneuver here and really put a stop to this.
You mentioned something, with how much money SBD has. The interesting part, did you look into the SBD layoffs?
No. So you put this in here and Brandon had kind of made a comment in the video about it. And I did not know what this was.
I don't know if you've seen the link. If you click on SBD layoffs, I linked the article. It's on, some UK business site. But what I took from it, they are laying off over 50 employees, which is like 25 to either like a quarter to a third of all their employees.
Okay, my first question is, how many damn employees does this company have? Because you make like neoprene products in different colors.
It sounded like 150.
Really?
150 to 200 or something like that total.
That is
shocking. But they're laying off like 50 to 60 of them.
Ooh.
Which that is enormous.
Yeah, this says the firm has 188 employees and some 69 roles, have been placed at risk and 54 redundancies were planned.
Right. So that's huge. Like I work at a fairly large company. If they came in and said, yeah, 1/4 of you are all getting fired, I'd be like, my God, even if I'm staying, what is what's going on here? What is the success rate of our future based on laying off that many people? So that tells me sales or at least profit is not where they want it to be.
Well, this is interesting because, all right, I know like in different countries, the way that, some as far as financials are more public than they are in America a lot.
Right.
You can pretty much hide whatever you want here. But it said last year, according to this article, turnover. Is that does that mean something? It says turnover was 15.7 million with profits of 2.25 million. What's turnover? I've never heard that using that.
Is that just revenue? Is that just
maybe that's a British way of saying revenue.
Right,
I've never heard that. But yeah, with a profit of 2.25 million pounds we're talking here. Okay. It says the gross profit margin was 40%. That's pretty good profit margin.
I would sure think so. Yeah.
I mean, again, they're mostly selling neoprene. That's marked up a lot. But and then here it says a worker who asked to stay anonymous said they'd been told of the job losses at a meeting with Chief Executive and founder Bill Banks and HR manager Samantha whatever, who said it was due to tough selling conditions.
You know what would improve tough selling conditions? Forcing the main user of your products to not allow any of the competitors' products.
That would certainly put you in a better spot.
Wouldn't that all make sense then?
Totally.
Timeline where you're like, we have to do something.
You know how we always say, you're like, how do these companies afford to spend all this money on stuff? And you're like, I just don't get how it works. And then we're always like, give it enough time. Usually you find out it doesn't work. It's like, here's another one. How did that work? Well, here's the thing. It's not really working for them to give away millions of dollars for all of these athletes and all these events.
I mean, they still showed a profit, it seems, but it's obviously, if you're laying off 60 employees, that's a big deal. That's not insignificant.
Yeah.
That's a regression no matter what. I mean, it might be what they need to do to come out the other side whole and better, but that's not what you would consider as a step of the form of progress, I don't think.
No. And I'm not like the guy that's like, oh, like it's one of those things like hating Rogue is popular, hating SBD is popular. I think they've done a lot of good things for the sport. Like they've definitely.
Oh no, that's
like,
why.
And they put a bunch of money into it, and I don't want to see them like go under and go out of business. But I also like to see people win based on merit and not.
Well, it makes me wonder, like the Sheffield specifically, because that's the thing you say. How does this pencil out?
Yeah.
I mean, that has to just be a huge expense line of advertising, promotion, and that sort of thing. And at a certain point, do they say, yeah, doesn't pencil out for us? Like, is that possible at some point that they're like, yep,
yeah,
because that's kind of the biggest game in powerlifting is the Sheffield at this point.
It is, and who knows? Maybe when the whole Sheffield's done and everything, maybe they turn a profit on it. I don't know. Between live stream, but the live stream's free, and I don't know.
I think they gave away like $500,000.
Is that how much it was? Yeah, it's okay.
So.
Probably not turning a profit on there. And usually, when companies aren't doing good,
probably not looking at it turning a profit, but what they're looking at is that in the whole, they should be then, turning more of a profit. And
right. And if sales are going down and you're giving away $500,000, it's like, well, that's clearly not doing anything. Right, well, but like we said in the beginning, before this even started, I said, hey, the only knee sleeves I've ever bought were a pair of SBD sleeves from like 2015. And I still have them and wear them all the time. That's kind of the problem with some of this stuff, is that it sort of lasts forever. So,
also they made them in black and red to begin with, and that's kind of what I think. So
that is the other problem, is they made our color from the beginning.
They made the right color right off the bat.
We're not Big Keith that had to wait until 2024 to get the orange set up. We had our color from the start.
Like the colors right away.
Yeah. If it was like Reband and the initial color was blue, it'd be like, yeah, I'd be looking to get a new color. But they had our colors from the get-go, so it worked out just fine.
I think here's what I think. I believe all knee sleeves should go away except for blue Reband knee sleeves.
Bring them back. We used to be a proper country.
Yeah, we used to be a proper friggin' country where you wore blue Reband sleeves that were already at a little bit of an angle, that were quite thin, and I don't even think anyone should be allowed to have new Reband blue knee sleeves.
They're all old.
They're all old.
Yep.
And if you have to buy them, you do have to buy them from the Gillinghams. And that's the only way you can.
And they sell one at a time. They're not sold in pairs. You order one at a time. And we used to be a proper freaking country where we imported our Reband sleeves from whatever country made those things. That's right. Those were
from whatever country those possibly come
It's
from.
like some Northern European country or something.
Yeah. Yes. Those we used to be a proper freaking country knee sleeves. I remember when we're old enough and been lifting long enough. We used to go to meets where a majority of the people there were wearing blue Reband.
Our first meet we ever went to,
yeah.
I remember, what's his name? God, redhead. Why can't I think of his name? Engineer.
Andrew Montoya?
No, not Andrew. The other guy. He's from like Doland or something. Why can't I think of his name?
Whirlybird.
The Whirlybird, yes. God, I could not think of it. I remember the Whirlybird was like, check these out, because everyone had Reband knee sleeves. And he's like, check these out, and they're SBD ones. He goes, they're the new knee sleeves. There's like one for your left leg and one for your right leg. It's labeled right on there, and they're bigger and longer, and it's the new game. And I had never seen them in person at that time. That was the first time ever.
It's like, what is this voodoo witchcraft?
Right. It's like, sir, I just started using a belt about a month ago. So,
yes. Okay. Anything else about knee sleeves or SBD?
Well, here's the other one too. This affects IPF lifters.
Yeah.
Also, which in America means that you're lifting in powerlifting America. And I get it that is a fed, but for real, you know who should be concerned about this stuff is people that are in like the top 3 of their weight class in the country. Outside of that, you don't even need to waste your time being worried about any of this. That's not an issue at all.
If you're not at least if you're not competing at Powerlifting America Nationals, then it does not affect you, right?
Yeah, and even there, like, unless you're placing in top 10 at Powerlifting America Nationals, it's kind of just like a participation trophy at that point.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. It doesn't.
I still to this day don't. Well, I probably do know someone, but I don't know anyone that's like, oh, it's a Powerlifting America meet I'm competing in. Aren't there just so few of them in America right now?
Yeah. Might as well call it Powerlifting Not America for how many few there are.
Exactly. So how did you know about the layoff thing though? Where did that cut? Where did you get hinted to that?
I can't even remember now. I've seen so many little things here and there on Instagram and stuff. I can't remember, but I found eventually that I saw something, so I had to Google it, and then I found that article, and I was like, oh man, that doesn't seem.
I would imagine their marketing
like
budget between all of the athletes, between powerlifting,
millions.
Strongman, whoever else, whatever they're doing, that, you know, if the Sheffield,
like
the Sheffield has to be
marketing
like
budget,
a marketing, line, like their marketing budget has to be crazy for all that stuff.
Well, I guess it doesn't make sense because what was their total turnover? Did they say 15 million? Like
yeah,
that?
I think it was that. And then was it
For
a
a
profit?
year?
Yeah. Was it a profit of 3 million? We're talking pounds here.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Who knows how much money that is?
We used to be a proper country where we talked in U.S. dollars, even when it's companies from other countries.
Let's see. 15 million pounds would be like $20 million.
Okay.
If that's what that article said. I already forgot.
Do they abbreviate it LBS?
Unfortunately, no. They just do like a little squiggly L thing.
Okay.
Real mischance.
We used to be a proper country with blue reband knee sleeves. I'm telling you, you buy them from the Gillinghams, and that's all a guy ever needed.
Mm-hmm. Go to jackalsgym.com.
You got speed from those, and that's all you needed.
I like that you put some deadlifting legends in the lifting legends thing, and Brad wrote, honored to be in with this group of guys.
Something must have got shared about it just today, because that was posted several days ago, though. But a bunch of Minnesota people were sharing Brad's clip, Brad's slide of that this week, and several people that had the last name Gillingham too. So
very cool.
It was, and a lot of shares were with hashtag speed.
Nice.
Like what are all the Jackals things like speed? I always remember that.
What else did they have on there? God, I can't even remember now. But yeah,
that always sticks out to me as something they all say is speed.
Yep. That was good.
Yes. All right. What do we want to move on to? Gym prices. What about your training session at Perfect Little Sweeties?
Oh, so I went there, had RP 10 squat day on Monday. And Bryce, what was it on Sunday afternoon? Messages me and Paul, says, hey, do you guys want to lift tomorrow? Or actually, I think Paul actually said, hey guys, we need to lift tomorrow. And I'm like, cool. And Bryce says, cool. And then I go, where are we lifting at? It's like, of course, it's Perfect Little Sweeties. That's where we're going to lift at. And so I show up there. The tension is high. It's an RP 10 squat day. That's a lot. I'm supposed to do 425 for 6, which is a big number. And start warming up, and it feels a little weird. You're in a different spot. Haven't left my garage in quite a while, but you start getting in the groove, and man, the weights are freaking moving. It was 425. I actually thought I did think I was pushing myself. I thought 425 is going to be a challenge.
Yeah,
and I probably could have done it for like 8 or 9, maybe even 10. And
so you should have had like 445.
I actually think I could have, but the thing was I think I did 440 at Massenomics gym I have to go back and look for 4 maybe in January. And that was very hard to me. That was like damn near RP. That was like an RP 9.5 maybe.
Okay.
It was hard. And this move, so I guess got done. I'm like, oh, that was like too easy. That was too easy. But it was a good training session. It was a lot of fun. Got to do that. Got to check out his
I would say I saw it, but because I watched the Perfect Little Sweeties training vlog, but couldn't really see your squat all that well.
Yeah, he kind of got in the way on that one. Luckily, I recorded on my phone too, so I had it. But
okay, yeah,
that one went great. Paul had just lifted at the USD liftathon. He didn't. He just had kind of a regular day in the books, so nothing too crazy there. And Bryce was working up to, God, what did he work up to?
725, wasn't it? Or something like that?
I start to lose
track.
track.
It was a gym PR, I think.
Yeah, once so many plates start going on, I start losing track of what's happening. But
it's a lot of plates.
It was, once you get like 5, 6, 7 plates, whatever it was,
So what bar were you guys squatting on?
Just an Ohio power bar.
Okay.
Definitely starts bending when Bryce starts loading that thing up.
Yeah, I didn't know if he uses a squat bar when he squats that much or what.
Little flexing on that bad boy, but yeah, it was really fun. I got to check out his new glute ham raise. Is that Rogue GHD he's got? Well, okay, what is the one Massenomics gym has?
The Abrams.
Is it the Abrams? That same one?
I think ours is the Abrams. I think ours is the slightly more expensive of the two.
Yeah,
whichever
which
one
is
that
the Abrams. Okay, but it says 2.0. Is it possible Massenomics has the 1.0 version? Or when you look at the picture,
it just depends on when it came out.
Pull up the picture. Does it look like this? Because I think you got this thing. No, I would have been there when you had this. It's just, maybe it's been so long I cannot remember what one it is now. Does it have that foot adjustment with that like pop pin thing?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Yep, that's the one we
See,
have.
he had
Rogue
this, and I'm
Abrams
thinking,
GHD
whoa,
2.0.
this is so nice. I haven't used one like this, but it's probably just from me going to a few commercial gyms here in town
Yep.
that
Yeah,
didn't
that's
have
the
this
exact
one.
ones ours is like, yep.
Okay. I was really impressed with how nice that actually is.
I don't know what the 1.0 was, but yeah, that
Right.
looks just like a, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he got his on Marketplace, and we talked about that, and
That could have been yours.
could have been mine, but Bryce got it instead, and that's fine. I didn't have room at the time, so it was nice. And I got to try. What else did I do in his gym? Oh, I got to do a little some lunges with the York round heads. Little old school
nice.
flair, and then I got to do a standing leg curl machine that you got to try out in the gym tour. Remember
Right. How was that one?
that? It was. I've never done a standing leg curl.
Right.
It's a nice machine.
Did you do it single leg or double leg?
I just kept it old school. Just did one leg at a time.
Okay. It's the best pump is when you do the
Do
double
both of them on the
double
standing.
leg standing leg curl.
Yeah, I'll have to
That's the
save that
trick.
for next time. So that was really good. Actually, that was Monday. On Friday, I had my RP10 deadlift day, a 465. I think it was for 5. Smoked those, felt amazing. Best it's ever felt. Best deadlift.
Oh, that looked really easy.
Best I have ever moved. My final pull leading into the meet was 465 for a single. That was my final pull. I did it for 5,
Yeah.
and it felt I shouldn't say it felt easy. It felt really good. I had no sore. I got done the next day, and I'm like, really? No soreness, nowhere, nothing. Like, am I not going hard enough? But yeah, that felt incredible. So that was the big barrier, because in Juggernaut you do your RP10 deadlift day before squat. So if that can
that
go
wasn't
good,
really an RPE 10 though.
no, it
either.
wasn't. And even that,
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go back and look. I think I put an RP 8 on it.
Yeah.
And so that means that's trending in the right direction. Squat, smoked that one out of the water. So that's going in the right direction. And then today was the final piece of the RP 10 week with bench. And this is the one I've had the most confidence in, because my bench is just feeling so good. It's feeling amazing. Every week, it actually feels like it's getting easier as the weights get heavier, that it's only getting easier.
It's going easier and
And
easier.
this is,
That's the Boogs effect. That's what he says. The more weight you put on, it just gets easier for me.
there's a lot of days where by the time I get to my last sets, I'm actually bringing the RP number down, because I'm like, it actually is getting easier feeling.
Yeah.
And I was just like having like more confidence in bench than I've ever had in my life. And today I'm thinking, oh yeah, yep, the number's got to be, God, is it gonna give me 315 for a set of 5? I've never done that in my life. I'm thinking it's got to be
like,
well, I'm
you've done
thinking it's got to be
315
at
for
least
sets, so you-
300 is
yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Right.
And
right.
when I loaded the thing up, the regular number, if you just tell it everything's feeling fine, is 285. And I'm like, I did 275 for my sets and have those marked at like a 6.5 last week. 10 pounds heavier is not enough. So I put both of them in Juggernaut, the fire emoji, which means things are feeling great. And then it gave me 305. And I'm like, okay, 305 seems
Yeah.
like a more appropriate number.
Right.
And I did that. I was supposed to do a set of 5. In my head, I'm like, this is way too easy. I did a 6th rep, which I never, ever add an extra rep in.
Yeah.
And I did an extra
And
rep.
it
I'm
was
like,
still
yep,
easy.
still got at least 2 there. And that one
Yeah.
absolutely shocked me. And this is what blew my mind. When you in Juggernaut, when you do your RP10 and whatever you put in, it wants you to then put in like a new estimated 1 rep max, so it can
right.
get your percentage program. So I put in that I did 305 for 6 reps at an RP
At an
8
8.
is what I
Yeah.
put in. And it says, all right, pick your new 1 rep max. And the numbers were 375, 380, and 385. I'm like, dude, that is not what my bench is at. But maybe, is it really?
Because what's the most you've ever benched?
Well, in the gym,
355
like
or
6 years ago, I did 8 years ago, I did a touch and go 350.
350.
And that was, I probably could have done 5 or 10 pounds more, but like that was that was the limit.
Pretty close.
And just for comparison here, like the last meet was an all-time bench PR in the meet. I did like 333 or whatever.
So that could be like your opener comes,
I mean, the way this is moving, but I don't know.
I mean, you did 305 for 6.
And it was easy.
Your opener would be close to what your final successful bench was.
Yeah, actually it should be. Yeah, like you just said, if I did 305 for 6 and it was easy, that's way too light for an opener. So yeah, my opener would be probably 330-ish then, actually.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
So weird to think about.
Like 325 or 330 would be your opener.
That's really weird to think about. Really weird.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, bench has been going so good. I don't know. I don't know what's changed. I don't know. Must be all that creatine
so what's your
I'm taking.
Is your body weight fairly?
My body weight is up a little bit. And that actually is one thing I should say. Don't know what's changed. That is one thing that has changed a little bit. Is that now, after we came back from Juji's, it's like that trip, my body gained 3 pounds and just never lost it. And so lately, for the most part, I wake up in the morning around like 222-ish, 221, 222. And it wasn't that long ago, a couple months ago, where I was more in that 215 area. I started taking creatine, which I say adds 5 pounds right there. So that kind of accounts for that. And then, all right, 5 pounds. Then, all right, over the past several months, have I gained a pound or two of muscle? I hope so, maybe.
Right.
And I guess that would put me at 222-ish.
So Juggernaut and MacroFactor are kind of clicking on all cylinders.
And that's what I was going to say about MacroFactor is the lifting feels like it's going so good. And I think if I had to put anything on it, okay, because I've been using Juggernaut for a while, I haven't really ever been able to like send it just because I've always been in this state of recovery, like on the comeback for several years now. But couple things. First, for like actually the first time in my life, my diet is the most in check it's ever been. Like I'm routinely getting 185 plus grams. Like it's a weird day if I don't get 185 grams of protein. I know most days that's closer to 200 up to 220. And I can guarantee you that I've never at any point in my life been that good at that. There might have been times where I was close, but if I was close, I was also getting probably 150 grams of fat. Like it was so much fat in the diet.
Right.
And it's pretty freaking dialed in right now. Like there's still times where the fat is a little higher, but like 120 grams of fat is like the most I'd ever get in a day.
Yeah.
And protein's the big one though. It's never less than 175, 180. It's always up there. And,
well, an extra 23 today.
It is. I'm over today now officially, which that doesn't happen a whole lot. And then the other one that I was thinking about is when you don't have 2 kids under the age of 3 in the house, sleep is just better. And it has been. Like I can consistently, I'm still not getting as much sleep as I should, but it's the fact that for the most part now when I go to sleep, I'm staying asleep. I'm not waking up like 3 or 4 times in a night, which is just, you wake up in the morning, you're like, did I actually sleep last night?
Yeah,
like, did anything happen?
In a constant state of shit.
Yeah. And, everyone's situation is different with that. Some people have angel kids. A lot of people, you don't really. And then when you have a couple kids that are in that like 0, 1, 2 range, you just sleep. One kid has a good night. The other one has a bad night. The next one has a good night. The next one has a bad. It's just like, it feels like you can't catch up. And, that's been better lately too. So I think diet's been going good. Sleep's been going better than normal. And I went to Juji's around Boogs and just like got that horsecock mentality that, you know what, sometimes you just need to throw some weights around.
Mentality.
And it is a mentality. And I've also been taking that approach way more lately, especially on my accessories. I'm like, you know what? I could go a lot harder on my accessories, like a lot harder. And I've been doing that. And I think maybe I'm starting to see the benefits of it.
Classic train insane or remain the same.
Actually, not too long ago, that I would have told you don't even really need to train insane. Like, as long as you're just training smart, you will get better. And I do believe that. But yeah, if you do know how to turn it up, this is the thing. I never, through all of this, my muscles, everything feels great. It is just if my back can just hang on, I know I can just keep attacking it so hard. And I feel like I know what it takes to get stronger now. Like I don't think I can reach like a 2,000 pound total, but I don't know. I think if I could just keep at this, I think a 14, going, 15, I don't know, maybe even a 1,600 pound total is possible, but it's just, can I avoid an injury
just
between now and then?
Continue to train for that long.
Because my muscles feel great all the time. My muscles, it's like everything's just, I'm hitting all these RP 10 days and I wake up the next day, I'm like, I feel like I didn't even lift. I feel great. I feel fresh. So That's the training update, man.
It doesn't really get much better than that.
Dude, with that, I'm having so much fun right now because things feel so good. I'm having so much fun with it.
You're the guy in the middle of the Venn diagram where it's all like I can do them all. What about me?
That's what it feels like. And I still at the end of the day don't have a good deadlift, but I'm having fun doing it because it's all moving.
It's getting really better.
Yeah, I can see everything like moving up and to the right, which is the direction.
You can't really ask for anything other than it to get better.
And it's all three right now. It's not even just one of them. Like, well, at least I got bench. The others are whatever. It's all three of them. Like, what the hell's going on right now, man? Same thing for squat. When I did my squat day and it asked, what do you want your new one rep max to be? I think the number was somewhere between like 520 and 540. So it's like
that would make sense to me.
Closing in on all-time PR territory. And I'm, 18 weeks out or whatever, 16 weeks out.
What is your best deadlift?
Best deadlift ever, 540. I was stuck at 540 for 2 years, or 540, whatever the kilo breakdown is there.
So you're getting closer and closer to that then.
Yeah, actually, same thing for deadlift. I think it has me at like 550 or something like that.
Right.
And I actually went back through some of my old training logs and looked. My best for squat, I had a 5x5 at 425 that I did. Or sorry, a 5x5 at 425 that I did one time.
Yeah.
And
5 sets of 5 straight across is really challenging.
Oh, it's hard. It is hard.
Like,
yes.
If it's hard to equate that to what that equals to in terms of a top set, but doing it for 5 sets straight across is a whole different
because the first ones feel pretty good, but by the end of it, you're like, it's hard to even get psyched up. These are just so draining.
When to me, it's almost like the second, third, and fourth sets. Like, like the first one, you have all this nervous of getting started. Like by the last one, I can always do, like, I'm like, it's the last one.
For me, it's like 3 and 4. 4 is probably the worst one. First one is like you're going into it feeling out, like, it's feeling good. Second, you're hyped up. Third, you're thinking, I'm getting tired. Fourth, like, God, I still got another one left. And then the fifth one is finally, okay, this is the last one. But
oftentimes I'll do my fifth one. It'll look like some of my best ones. But I think it is like the third and fourth one.
Work.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I know this can change in an instant. Like, I mean, for all in all, I'll get deload next week and then I'll put in my numbers. I'm like, God damn it. Like this is I'm just going to get destroyed every day now.
It's nice to just enjoy it while it's happening.
But that's the thing is right now I'm thinking, this is just really good. I feel like I'm on newbie gain mode over here. Things are going great. And because I've been there, because I know this can all change so fast, I'm loving the moment. It's like, if someone could tell you, well, you're in the good old days before you leave the good old days or however the thing goes, it's like right now I feel like I'm in the good old days,
I think there's very little times in me lifting for like 15 to 20 years where I've thought, you know what, all 3 of these are really progressing really nicely at the same time.
And also that you don't feel like shit. You're like, okay, they're all up, but God, my elbows are killing me, my back hurts and my hips hurt, but I'm getting stronger. And that's the thing is right now I'm like, everything feels pretty good. And these are famous last words. I feel like right now I'm just signing my own obituary right here. But I just got to say, there's not many times where you just feel great about everything. And right now is one of those times.
Right.
I almost did have disaster strike yesterday. I've had their move now, but in the back behind me against the wall, I had some giant picture frames laying there.
Yeah.
I was getting posters made. I made these. I printed off some Massenomics posters. I'll get these things hung. The posters showed up the other day. They look amazing. They look so good.
The studio just keeps getting better and better.
It does. Dude, these posters look so good. The printing is incredible. I've never seen something look so nice. And they showed up and I had to check them out and I was just so blown away. I'm like, this was yesterday. I'm like, I'm putting these in the frame right now. This is too cool. I got to do it. Yeah. So I put the first one in the frame. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. This is sweet. I made the first one was a raw power poster. Looks so cool. I'm like, yes, I'm doing the next one. So I go over to the picture frame and I'm getting it out. All these tabs on the back you lift off.
Yeah.
And then it's a 24 by 20. It's big. And I take the back piece off, the little piece of cardboard that holds the picture in. Yeah. And I can see some little hairs and like pieces of styrofoam in the glass. I'm like, well, I got to get that out. I can't have that in there and inside this frame sandwiched against my perfect print I have made here. Yeah. And it was on the last one. I had trouble getting it out. Trying to stick my finger to it. I couldn't get it. So what I did is I tipped this one up. And when I tipped it up, immediately it was like an explosion and the glass shot out of it and broke and it went on my hand. And I was like so confused what had happened because I was on my knees on the ground and this glass shot out. And I just look down and I see my hand covered in blood. My first thought is, no, things were going so perfect. Like it didn't even hurt or anything because the glass is so sharp. I'm just instantly thinking like, no, my training was going so good. What took place here? And so I run to the bathroom and I start washing it off. And I realize that the blood is all coming from the edge of my thumb, like the base of my knuckle, kind of on my palm. And I'm looking, I'm like, God, that is a really deep freaking cut. And of course, my wife, who works in the ER, is working in the ER. She's not here that day. But she goes, oh, I have the skin glue upstairs. So I use that and I get it glued up. But this was like an hour before I was supposed to go and hit my RP 10 bench yesterday. So I'm like, damn it, I will put the pause on this. Do it tomorrow. And so I made it through the bench session just fine today. It did kind of rip open, so I had to put more glue on it. But I think I'll be okay. But it was almost things were looking too good for a minute.
That's what something always will pop up to like keep it in check. It's like, nope, you're gonna get injured not lifting now.
It's like you said when you're like moving that trailer the one time before the meet.
Right.
Moving like, the trailer, you hurt your shoulder or whatever.
Yeah, like, God, what the hell?
Yeah, but that was my immediate thought is right away. I'm thinking, no, not training. It's going too good. Don't ruin it here.
That is so true.
I did have one thing. I think Bryce brought this up when we were lifting at his gym, and I thought this was very insightful, very good. And he goes, you know what? No matter how strong or weak you are, if you're someone that lifts, there is someone that knows you, like more than likely a coworker or like a distant family member that doesn't really know you that well, but they know you lift, and they're like, that guy's the strongest guy I know. And it doesn't matter how strong or weak you are, but to someone, you are like the strong guy, like out there.
Yeah, right.
Which is kind of a funny thing to think about. It just depends on who you know and who you're around.
Right, and who it is.
But yeah,
almost to someone, you're the strong guy.
Yes. So just think about that. You're someone's strong guy.
You're someone's hero.
Yes.
That is a funny thought. I mean, if you're Bryce, you're that guy to more people
than that guy to most people, yes.
But yeah, you're that guy to a lot of people if you're Bryce. That does, though. I mean, we talked about it, so I'll just mention it. Juggernaut AI, Tommy, the training he's using smash PRs left and right, just picking up PRs, taking them, walloping them, smashing them, banging them out of the park. Yeah, giving them a good walloping. You could do the same too by using Juggernaut AI and using discount code Massenomics. It'll save you 10% every month for the lifetime of your membership. When you sign up, just make sure to sign up on the website. That's juggernautai.app. Thanks, Juggernaut. Okay.
And I should probably read one here too, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, this episode is also brought to you by Barefoot Shoes. If you head on over to barefoot.store, you can find our favorite barefoot shoes available. Right now, Barefoot is in the process of releasing their Gen 2 styles of the Ursus. That's the low top and the high top versions in black and white are either available or available for pre-order. Actually, you know what? Take that back. The white ones are no longer on pre-order. You can get them now. So go over to barefoot.store. If you check out the Ursus Arctic White Gen 2, it is available to order. Looks like it is shipping now if you add those to your cart. And you say, ooh, I want that, but I'd love to save some money. Well, if you use code Massenomics, you can save 10% on your next order. So you're there. That's like almost like getting a whole pair of shoes for free. So you might as well buy 2 shoes. Use code Massenomics, double the savings, and you can start to move on that barefoot lifestyle and see what it's all about. Once again, that's barefoot.store. Code Massenomics will save you 10%. Thank you, Barefoot Shoes.
If anyone's missed it, the strength, what's that called? Challenge that's been sweeping the nation is the double overhand. Been seeing a few people get in on it. It's, for anyone that doesn't know, it's your 10 rep max double overhand deadlift, preferably on a Texas power bar.
And what number? What number? What's the last number you did here?
435 is the one I did on Monday. I did this week, I guess. 435.
Where does it stop?
Novice. What did you call it?
Novice grip progression. NGP.
Yeah, NGP.
Just add 10 pounds
per week. That might be it. I think this next week I might try and continue it by now moving to a deadlift bar, or maybe if I have a wild hair and I think, nope, I can go to 445 and I can just do it today. I might try it.
So you're saying that like So it sounds like you don't have a ton of confidence in yourself being able to do 445 for 10. Is that what you're saying?
Right. That's kind of where I feel like I might.
So if I told you had to put a number to it, how many do you think you could do at 445? Like pretty confidently.
8 or 9.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like I can't quite get 10.
It is like the last rep or two would be.
Yeah.
the goal.
Like when I did 435, my 9th rep, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm giving it everything. And it's just like peeling my fingers. It's actually the weirdest thing versus when you do 1 and you can't get it. It's just like it peels out right away.
Yeah.
But like on this 10 rep, it's just like, I just did this 8 times. I know I can do it. It's like, just hang on.
Yeah.
Like, why is it not hanging?
But nothing's left. Yeah.
It's just like
it's that annoying thing about grip is you're just like,
Yeah.
why can't I do this?
Yeah. But then like on my 9th one, I'm like, oh, that was really tough. And on the 10th one, I'm like, that's it. I just need one more. And I really grit down and I'm like, okay, that one felt a little better. So I don't know. Maybe I could summon just enough to try 445, but I might just switch to a deadlift bar and see if that, I just want to see, is that easier?
I think you should be able to get a little extra mileage out of a deadlift bar.
And I should be able to see, I'll be able to test that.
Right.
Much
If all of a sudden you
apples
do
to
it and you're like,
apples
I
right
could
away.
do 20 of these. Well, then,
Right. Well, and I mean, what I'm going to do is I'll switch to that. And then if I can get 445, I'll just try 450. I'll just NGP that to see where the deadlift bar goes.
So if let's say you're totally healthy, like you right now, but let's just say you have 2 good working legs. What do you think your max double overhand would be?
I don't even know if that should be like, if I'm like being held back by that even now by my leg not being, because
but
like when
I
I
mean,
do
could
that
you
set of
double
10, my
overhand
knees
500
up.
for a single?
I've done that before.
Yeah.
I
But
think I've
do you
done
think you
like
could right
505.
now?
It sure seems like it.
But even with your leg, that wouldn't be an issue. 500-pound deadlift?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, if I can do 435 for 10, it's not an issue. So why would 70 more pounds for 1? Like, it just really shouldn't be.
Point. Should be
Here's
less wear and tear.
Yeah. Here's the craziest thing I would say about it is when I do that where I'm focusing on the grip, it's such a hack of me not even like, I'm not even thinking about my knee or my, like, because it is such a hack because I'm so focused on that. I'm like, no, the rest of it has to be locked in or it just like doesn't work, right. And it just makes me not overthink it then.
Yeah.
Cause then I watch it, I'm like, I'm very happy with my technique on this.
I know.
It's like, I'm like, this looks solid as hell. And like, it makes me, it's turning into a little hack for me where I'm thinking about the grip, and then the deadlift is an afterthought.
just happen. If the grip's dialed in right, the rest of the lift just happens.
Because then I do my back downs at a lighter weight. So like the other week, I don't know, it was like 365, 375, 385 or whatever it is for sets of doing a couple back down sets of 10. And this is often true when you do a top set versus the back down sets. But noticeably, when I do my back down with straps, I'm like, man, this feels way harder than the one that was 90 more pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the one that was 60 more pounds or whatever the difference is for the day.
So are you getting yourself very psyched up for these 10 rep ones, or is it just like, no, it's just you're going up and doing a set?
I don't not getting myself too psyched up because I feel like I can't really get too psyched up for a set of 10.
Okay. So that's what I didn't know though, if it was like, oh, I got to really hang on. I got to be in the zone a little bit here.
A little bit.
Okay.
I'm not just like
going nuts for a single.
Yeah, but I'm not going like Boogs mode on it. Like you would, like I'm not sitting there like yelling at myself like I might if I was going for a 1 rep or like a really big double or triple even. It's not like that because I don't even know if that's to my advantage. I'm more just thinking like telling myself like squeeze, I'm just like, but even before I go, I'm like, hang on, like squeeze the bar. Cause there is something funny about grip. Sometimes I'm just like, no, I have to tell myself, yes, squeeze your hand as hard as you can because I can like, it seems so obvious and silly to even say, but I'm like, sometimes I'm like, well, wait, I'm not squeezing as hard as I should.
That's actually one thing I've noticed with me for deadlift is I seem to only hang on as tight as I really need to. And I've noticed that even when I get to heavier ones, I don't have the bar firmly grasped. Like it is slightly like rolling down to my fingertips. And I'm thinking, I'm doing mixed grip. Why am I having such just a casual grip on this thing? And that was one of the big ones for my top set the other day was like, no, I need to really be hanging on to this.
Yeah.
And part of that, what that does though, is it just makes everything tighter. So it makes everything feel better. And I really realized it on that.
I think, yes, that's a really good point. That's part of what I'm saying, like that my form feels locked in because if you're squeezing the shit out of your grip, you can't not be a little
It's really
tight.
hard
if you already know how to deadlift.
I mean, even just sitting right here, whatever someone's doing, if you're just like, nope, squeeze your fists as hard as you can, it's really hard to do that and not have like your arms fully tightened and even like into your pecs and your lats.
Yeah.
If you're just squeezing it all as hard as you can.
I'm waiting to, want to see someone get in on it and do like a crazy number. I want to see someone do
500
like
for
475 or 500 for 10 or like
really
someone's
cool.
got to be able to do it. Maybe not
You'd
the people that
think.
are going to jump in on this, but like I would just keep, I mean, at that point you also have to be able to deadlift 500 for a set of 10. Like it starts to get to be
like you got to be a good deadlifter then, especially.
Right.
It's not just a grip thing anymore.
Right. Yeah, you have to, at a certain point in time, it's like, no, that's 10 reps of a deadlift that's actually pretty heavy. Yeah, so I'll probably try, I might switch to the deadlift bar because now I'm just purely curious if that, like, do I go to that at 445 and like, oh, that's easy. I can just keep going on sets of 10.
I think I was saying this.
Or if it's like, no, that's not any easier.
Well, it would be sweet if it was just like, nope, yep, the cheat code, here we go again.
Yeah,
because that's how we've kind of always said that about the deadlift bars. Is it a mental thing or can you actually hang on to it that much better, you know?
Right. This would be a really good test.
It would, and I would love to see what the results of that are. I was saying to Paul and Bryce, I'm watching you deadlift, and so you did 435 double overhand for a set of 10, which, I mean, right now, I feel like that would just rock me. That would be so hard for me to do. And I'm thinking, are just quads, you don't have two perfectly functioning quads. I got two. I make the argument, maybe my two quads are the best they've ever been in my life right now.
Right.
I'm like, okay, maybe just quads are not part of the deadlift equation or they're not for Tanner.
Probably not so much for me. I think generally, the way I lift, they're not as much of an equation for me. So that probably is part of it. And then by default, I'm sure my body, even like without me trying it this way, like they're just like, yeah, we're shifting some of this focus.
Right. We're moving the load
of,
around without you knowing.
Right. You know, like even, I mean, I do, especially on my other sets, I am constantly thinking like, oh no, press evenly through both legs. And I should be feeling that. But when I do that set, I really don't think about any of that shit. Okay. But like when I'm doing my other ones, they are way slower because I am kind of like, no, I want to feel my left leg exact. Like when I'm squatting in particular right now, that is the biggest thing. Like on every rep, I'm like, no, I want that to feel even, you know, from side to side. It doesn't always, but that's kind of what I'm always shooting
you're not thinking
for.
about just purely moving weight. There's some mind-muscle connection going on.
It's kind of like I get so ungodly tired on my sets of 10 squats. Like last week was 255. This next week will be 265.
How many sets are we talking here?
I do 4 sets of 10 on squats. So it is 40 reps of, but it is really fatiguing because I don't like the descent isn't fast. They're
basically almost tempo squats.
Right. But by design, I hope that, you know, is like forcing me to probably get a little more hypertrophy going.
You would think. You would sure think so.
Yeah. So I want to see more people do the double overhand 10 rep max deadlift and see what numbers people can get. So there's a few people that have been doing it.
Yeah, there has been. I want to see someone just put some crazy numbers up though. I want to
That's
know
what I'm like. Someone's got to be able to do
there.
like 455. Someone's got to be able to do 475.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Someone can do 500. You know, like
Brian
Shaw can go do 500.
Right.
Of course,
yeah,
you know,
like him for sure. And like that would even be
but,
that
like, there's
taxing
gotta
of
be,
a
like,
thing.
Normal-ish people that can do some pretty crazy numbers on that.
Right. I'm just thinking of someone that maybe deadlifts in the 700s though. The grip, it would not be unusual for them to not be able to do the grip part though.
Well,
you know?
The other thing I thought was interesting, which after hearing them say it, I'm like, oh, they were right. I think I was a little wrong about that. Is I make it sound like the deadlift is an afterthought. It's just the grip to hold on. You know, because they're like, oh, you said like the 405 deadlift for 10, like that shouldn't be the limiting factor. Like in my mind, or like I'm just equating it to me. I'm like, for me, that is not because that's.
Well, I know the grip is the limiting factor, but I also know that even if the grip wasn't, I mean, 405 for 10 would just smoke me.
But most times they would go up together a little bit is what I was thinking. You know, it would scale together. But then I'm like, well, if someone is a little bit lighter, but they have an exceptional grip, the deadlift actually could be the limiting factor then, though, too. You know, like
easily. Yeah.
If they have an awesome, you know, big hands, a really strong grip, but maybe like a grip strength athlete, like someone that competes in grip, but maybe doesn't power lift. So they might not have this 500, 600, 700 pound deadlift, but they have a really strong grip.
Yeah. That is a good
Those
point.
people probably exist.
Oh, yeah.
But to me, I kind of
totally.
take the deadlift as an afterthought because I'm like, oh, I think I could always, whatever my grip could hold on to, I could always deadlift. You know, the deadlift isn't hard. I think if you're a power lifter, that's usually going to be true though. Still,
typically, yes. Because you're,
you know, I mean, there's no deadlift of any weight or rep scheme that, I mean, the grip would always give out first for you.
Oh, for me, every time. Yes, every time.
Right. Like, and I think most of us would all be the same way.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I could get 405 for a single. Like I know I can get like 365 is usually the last double overhand single I take.
Right.
But over that, it's really, that's where my single starts to run out. So this thing, the fact that you did a couple weeks ago 405 for 10, I mean, I couldn't even do it for one, I don't think.
Right. So it's the same for most people. I do think the deadlift, it seems silly to say, but it is kind of an afterthought if your grip is strong enough. You know, I mean, it's like the grip is the much harder part for most people, I think. But there's probably exceptions to that, though. I'll concede that some people are outside that rule.
I guess everyone's different.
I'm just going to dissect this stupidest thing ever every week farther and farther. The stupidest lift. I'm calling it the dumbest lifting thing ever because it's all I can do. It's all I've got.
Just let me
I've
have
been
it.
working on some more Massenomics gym stuff. I'll probably just hold off on that till it's done. I got more stuff coming, a special project that's hopefully nearing
I've seen some previews of it. Looking pretty good so far.
Making it pretty.
This is what's going to really make the gym a real gym.
I kind of hoping this is what'll finally get us strong for the, you know,
yeah,
this is going to be the missing link to finally get us strong. Did you watch the Sam Sulik gym tour?
I did. And it was funny. We've talked about things like this before. I started at nighttime and I fell asleep. Start watching it, fall asleep at some point during it, and I wake up and there's only a few minutes left, and I watch the end, and then I go to bed, and then I think, when I'm eating lunch tomorrow, I'll pick up where I left off, probably like towards the end of the video, and then I realized I fell asleep at like the 2 minute and 30 second mark, and I'm like, really? So I laid down. This was the first YouTube video I turned on. I was actually excited to watch it, and within 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I had passed out. So that was interesting, but I did go back and watch the rest. People that don't know, Sam Sulik now has a home gym, and when we say home gym, basically has his own personal commercial gym, and it's completely, he had a video come out giving a tour of it. It is completely outfitted in Arsenal gear, and it's a pretty sweet gym.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Did you watch the full tour?
I think I've seen almost all. Same thing. I fell asleep to at least one time watching it. Sam Sulik is great if you're tired to get yourself right to bed.
Steve always said his talking just puts you right out.
And I like some of his content. I'm not saying like, oh, it's terrible, it puts me to sleep. I'm just saying like it's so quiet and he talks so even keel. It'll just put you right to bed if you're on the verge of falling asleep.
I'm trying to think if he had. I think I told you about this. The Arsenal lateral raise machine stuck out at me because he had high praise for it, and that's been a piece that you've examined.
Still on my
over
wish
time.
list. I probably will have it someday. I guess it's probably a matter of time.
But yeah, it's mostly just a lot of machines. You know, there's a rack and a Smith machine in there and dumbbells. But did you see the most importantly though? Did you see Boogs had a video?
I got a couple minutes of that. I haven't seen the whole rundown.
I watched pretty much the whole thing, and it was so funny. Like someone wrote like, oh, a 20-minute video, and we actually watched 20 seconds of the original video. You're getting really good at this, like something along those lines.
That is kind of his thing.
It is, but I liked it. It's so much of what he says is so funny because it's also so true. Where he's talking, he gets to the part where Sam's like, you know, we got the dumbbells over here, and I'm up to 150. I don't need those 200s. And Book stops. He's like, no, that mentality right there, that's what's never going to let you do those. You need to have something you can't do because that's what keeps you showing up to the gym. because you have those over there just like making fun of you every day because you can't do them. And I'm like, oh man, this is so good though. Because that was the same thing. I had those Strength Co 45s. I was getting to the point where I had 445s, and most workouts I was using all 445s. I'm like, I don't really like this idea of when I'm lifting, there's no weights left on the rack. Like I'm at the end of the thing here. And so now you get that extra one. You're like, all right, there's another plate there. We got to start filling that one up now. And I get it, man.
I need to get to that one. Yeah.
Yep. But then Boog's just saying, just his whole take on the gym of it's just funny to hear him ramble for 20 minutes. On and on.
I think actually, because I had brought this up to you, and I think when I watched Boog's video, he did bring it up though too. What's interesting to me is Sam Sulik's channel has been built on him doing vlogs of him going to commercial gyms, like almost like every man's gyms, just random ass gyms that anyone would go to at and now I'm like, it's a whole different vibe when he has this personal facility with $250,000 of equipment and basically no other people there. That's like, oh wait, no, you have access to things that normal people don't get now. Like, do people not relate to that as well?
That is a good question. And it always is the thing of, but also, I mean, no one can blame him. Anyone in the situation.
Oh no, I don't. I mean, it's awesome
to have their own thing. Yeah. And then also he is working at a higher level here. And at a certain point, like you want machines that will help you bring up what are your weak spots.
Well, and he's actually a competitive bodybuilder.
Right. When you just show up at a random Planet Fitness and they don't have anything and you're just like, oh, let's see what we can make work today. At a certain point, he will get serious enough that, and he's there right now where, I want these machines to help me be the best version that I can be. But I think he did say in his video, he's like, you'll still, I'm not, this isn't my only spot. You'll still find me, going to other gyms. And I think Boogs talked about it. He goes, I do the same thing. I got my personal gym that I go to, and that's where I get crazy, but I still need to get out in public and go to these public gyms too. And so I think Boogs was mostly on the same page with him there of like, following the thought process.
Yeah. We dusted off we hadn't used our garage gym much for a while, but now that's nice out again. We dusted off the equipment, been using the garage gym again. It's nice when having the doors
when you got the doors open and you're just
that's lifting. A whole different feel when the doors get to be open.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to beat. I had the doors open today because it's been not very nice lately, but today was like 60 something, so the doors were open and it was a great day to do some benching.
Yeah. That's when you're like, I hope someone drives by and they see me blasting iron in here. They'll be like, yeah, that guy's pretty strong.
All the neighborhood kids riding their bikes home from school, and they're like, oh, man, what's going on in that gym?
Like, that's the strongest guy I know.
This guy, Mom and Dad, the neighbor is a freak down there. He's just horse cocking weights in his garage.
Like, horse cocking? I got to see this for myself. Do we want to do any other topics? I see gym prices is in here. Is that something we want this week, or do we save that?
I'm trying to think. I mean, we could save it for next week too.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even know. The thing snapping so much, it's hard to keep track of what the hell's even going on. Yeah, because it's about equipment pricing. Actually, what I was going to talk about was, okay, screw it. We'll just talk about it right now. Rep, because Rep, like a lot of these companies, makes a lot of their shit in China, or basically all their stuff in China. And I have a few Rep pieces, and their pricing, I've been watching the news lately. There's been a lot of tariffs going on and off and numbers floating around, and damn near gets them snap. Yeah, it gets impossible to keep track of. The tariffs are.
I mean, you might be wrong if you haven't looked in the last day.
Yeah, I mean, they're all over the place. It's just insane. You can't keep up with it. And Rep, I think, has just like started raising their prices just to keep up with it, because as of, what is this, April 10th, is there like 120% tariff on Chinese goods, I think, maybe?
I have no idea.
It's something like that. But the only metric I have to gauge this on is the cost of the Rep Pepins. And this is very interesting. So I bought mine. I bought the 80-pound set. When it initially came out, I believe the 80-pound set was $900. I waited, until like the orders were kind of out and made sure that they were the real deal. I bought them in December of
So you weren't
2020.
the earliest adopter.
No, I wasn't. I waited until they were actually out. I don't think they started shipping until like August or September, maybe even October. But so I waited a few months until after they came out. I bought mine for $1,000. So the price had raised another $100, which I'm like, extra $100. Oh, that's annoying. I bought the 80-pound set. Now the the 85-pound set. Now the 85-pound set is up to $1,300. It's gone up another 30% in like 4 months. Not even 4 months. It's gone up another 30. And now if you want the full set, it's $1,700. Like that's
getting close to $2,000 for a pair of dumbbells.
That's getting close to $2,000, which is like, I mean, they still are really, really good. Do not get me wrong; these are still amazing dumbbells. I'm so glad I have them, but it's $1,700.
You have them like when you got them.
Oh, that was the thing. People are saying all these tariffs are coming. If you have something, buy it now. And
so, as of today, has Rep paid any more? I mean, you don't know the answer to this, have they paid any more for anything?
Well, this is why I think, because I look the AB 5200, I'm like, that's a great bench. I have that.
Yeah.
That price had not gone up yet, and I think the reasoning here is because the pep-ins are constantly back ordered. You know, like they're always a month out. So you ordering ones now, like those ones have in theory not even been made yet, or if they're made, they're getting ready to package them up to send a crate to America. So that's why I think those get more of the live pricing. There's no stock sitting in a warehouse somewhere that these are our $500 benches because we have 1,000 of them that we got to burn through before we have to worry about the price thing. Because that was the thing. Yeah. The AB 5200 is still just sitting at $500 like when I bought it, but this has gone up, 30%. And so this is where my plan of, when I bought the rep-ins, I'm like, I'm trying to find it here. The rep, pep-in. I'm trying to do too many things I want. Pep-in play. Okay. Right here. So I thought, you know what? I'll just buy the 80 pounders. And if I decide 80 pounds isn't enough, I can buy the add-on plates. You don't have to buy it all at once. Right. Well, now that you're already paying a small premium to do that before. Now, if you go on the Rep website, the Rep Pep-In Fast Adjustable Dumbbell add-on weight is, how much is this? This is a 20-pound set. So I would need 2 pairs to go from 85 to 125 pounds, but 1 pair, so 20 pounds of plates to fit in these things. Do you have a guess for how much these 20 pounds worth of plates cost?
Let's see, $220.
$270.
Yeah, I was just kind of doing math.
Yeah, for these 20 plates. So now, if I actually did decide I wanted to go up to the full 125-pound set, I'd need 2 of these. I'd be at $540 for 40 pounds of weights. Yeesh. That is expensive.
They're proud of those.
So I don't think I'll be making that move anytime soon.
Yeah. Wowzers. But still, a good thing you bought them when you did.
A good thing I'd hate to be the dumbass that waited to buy these things.
Old horse's ass. I'd say that's true about our drink spotters and horse stall mat coasters and certified training facility packages, our tees, our shorts. Now's the time to buy.
You never know.
Get off the sidelines.
You do not want to be the guy looking back seeing how much the price went up on those things.
No. Also, now is the time to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts because we are coming dangerously close to 600. I'm going to read a couple here to hopefully encourage you even more to leave a review. And let me know if this is one of your reviews from a couple years ago. This first one as well from Griffin. Sparkling water can be used as a mixer to fluff up 1 scrambled eggs. Oh. Delightful pod. Nice. Next one from Big Daniel. Silly Goose, Serious Goose. Podcast is a great mixture of both, along with a sparkling beverage review segment. This one is from Hallelujah, Midwestern Approved. Checking in from the great Midwestern state of Ohio to say this certainly is a podcast. Last one is titled NPR for Meatheads. Listen to Tanner and Tommy talk about everything under the sun and nothing at all. Grab a chair and tune in to news from Western Northeast South Dakota, coverage of sparkling water, beverage safety, and the original lift shorts. Excellent reviews. You please leave us a review because we are getting close to 600, and that's kind of our short-term goal. We really want to get to 600. I would part with a fun chat GPT use that any parents could take advantage of. Every night I've been asking my 2 girls what they want in a story. And like the recurring thing is they're both they're a superhero team, and then it like remembers our prior stories, and then it's always like what now I want part 3, and this time they're saving mermaids under the ocean, and
give them the plot points, and
they ride their magic dog Hercules, who become and like I give it all these things, and then it comes up with the story, and my kids love it.
Oh yeah,
like it spits out a story every night that it's like, oh, our brother's in it this time, and like
I know him.
Yeah. and I'll sit there literally where they're in bed and I'll be like, okay, tell me 2 things you want in the story. Cause then we get to that and they're like, oh, there it is. So that is one of my more fun uses for Chat GPT that I've found so far. It does a pretty good job. Like, especially my 7-year-old, she probably at least 4 times a night, there's something that she just like laughs out loud at because I'm like, make it really silly,
Yeah.
And it's like, it calls her little brother, just make up things about how him drooling so much and stuff like that, So that's a fun use for Chat GPT.
That is a good
use.
one. Yeah.
Maybe the best use.
that was the pinnacle. Like, yeah. Well, that's it. Shut it down. We figured out.
That's what they mean by it becoming a singularity, I think.
That's it.
Once it can write bedtime stories.
Once it can write it now has consciousness. It can write a good bedtime story.
Yes. Is that it for this week?
I think so. I mean, there's more on the list, but that's it.
Yeah, we didn't even
get this week.
We've barely braised the list at this point, I think. I don't know if what braised means for sure, if that would apply to this.
Braised beef ribs.
We barely braised the list. Leave us a comment down below if that makes sense or not. Use braised in a sentence down below. Either you can choose, either make it make sense or make it not make sense. Maybe you don't know.
Next week we will simmer the list.
Yes, we'll do a lot of cooking maneuvers to the list. Do leave us a comment on YouTube. Everyone listens to these on audio, but we're getting more and more people watching the Massenomics podcast on YouTube every week. So please check it out. Leave us a comment. Leave us a like. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's a new video every single week. The one that just posted here earlier today as we record is our power pull video with us, Mark Rosenberg, Deadliest Lift, and Big Boogs, who we talked about on this episode. He's in there. Mikey makes a cameo. Mikey Maybe Me makes a cameo appearance. That was a fun video. We got a whole bunch of gym tours coming. We've got 10 weeks of gym tours that are about ready to start publishing. So that's really cool. We're looking forward to it. We are the best gym tour YouTube channel on YouTube. And if you don't believe me now, check back in 2 to 3 months and just try to tell me that somebody does it more, does it better, does it in a more fun way. Just try and tell me. I'll tell you, go to hell. You're wrong. That's what I'll tell you.
You go straight to hell.
Yeah, you can go to hell on the horse you rode in on.
I will see you in hell.
Yeah. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See you.